On the water, everything makes sense. There's no clutter to what's going on. It's you and your blade coordinating with your teammates and their blade. You're out on the lake and there's this calmness, and here in Toronto we have this way of looking back at the lake that no one else gets to look at. And you can be outside the break wall looking at the city, and the sun is just hitting all the buildings perfectly, and you're like, this is spectacular. Like, for me, that was my office. Like, I got to sit out there and have these beautiful mornings with the mists rising up, there's birds all around you. And
such an amazing experience to come down and row on Lake Ontario every single morning.
I'll at times just stop my crew, we'll turn the boat around to watch the sun rise, and it's a pretty special thing that we afford these athletes the opportunity to see that. It's one of the beautiful things of rowing is not only being in the boat, but the places it takes you, the scenes that you see, and the people that you meet.
All the girls are very inclusive and they make everyone feel very welcome, and I think that's just the type of girls that Branksome is and the type of girls that Branksome rowers are, that they want to make everyone feel comfortable and they want everyone to have a good time.
Rowing gives you that sense of community and it gets you to know so many more people. And it just makes your experience at Branksome a lot better.
It's something that really means something. It's a group which isn't based on just how you look or where you come from. It's a group based on what you do and your input and your skills, and you're valued for those, and then in the long run they really remember that the hard work they put in equals a real core bonding. These girls, you should see the camaraderie they have. They stick together, and it's not like a clique, it's just that they know. They look at each other with their knowing eyes going, I know what we did this morning, I know what we did all winter, and it's a bond that I think is very difficult to emulate with anything else.
the actual stroke in rowing is individual, but to make the boat go fast, you have to do it together as a team. And so that really allows you, as an athlete, to focus on what you're doing, but it's impossible to move the boat quickly without coordinating with the other people around you. So it's that sort of unique atmosphere that sort of draws people in, and once you get it, you're hooked.
The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. And when you can get everybody working in the same direction for a common cause, the results can be extraordinary. Whether they're winning or not is another story, but the results of this family dynamic moving in the same direction towards a common goal, it's a life experience.
You see them in grade 9, they come in, they don't have a lot of self-confidence, they haven't really excelled at anything, and with all the hard work they put into rowing, all of a sudden, they've won a medal and they're getting cheered on by their peers, the parents, they're being validated and valued, and that's something which for some of them is just immeasurable. You just see them, it's an internal thing, they just grow internally and have this inner light. And the smiles that you see on their faces after they win races, or even after they have a good race, you rarely see that in anything else, like pure inner joy.
Just getting off the dock and knowing that I won that medal with my 4 best friends, it was amazing. It's even hard to talk about it now just because it was so amazing. There was nothing like it.
It's gonna basically be the biggest roller coaster of your life, and there's tons of times that you don't know why you're doing this and you want to run and never come back, but in the end it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I couldn't imagine not rowing, and to know that in the end you're going to be a person that you never thought you'd be, and someone very different from who you are in grade 9 to who you are in grade 12.
Rowing has, made me feel better about the person I am and the way that I look, just, being more fit, but then also it's made me feel better about my life at school, knowing that in rowing I can be the best, but then I may not always be the best in math or in science, so it's helped me understand who I am a little bit more.
I'm proud that rowing taught me that pushing yourself beyond your limits won't actually kill you. It makes you stronger, and it teaches you that you're not at your limit yet.
You can hit this wall and most people will stop there, but what rowing taught me is you always have a little bit more.
It shows that not only in rowing you can push yourself, but in other things that what you thought you couldn't do before, you can do. And if you it's a big mental physical connection, where if you mentally think about it and you physically do it.
And it's kind of made me, I think, grow as a person in different aspects of my life, not just necessarily as a rower.
Rowing taught me how to be a good person, and do that, I also ended up becoming a great athlete.
Everything that I've done after rowing, everything seemed easier because I had the experience. I knew that I knew how to balance school and everything else that was going on in life.
It makes you confident, like especially in other things, because you know that you can accomplish such a large task, and like especially with rowing, you have to be able to be really good at like prioritizing your time well with school and other activities.
It's pretty neat to see the girls come into the rowing program in grade 9 and graduate in grade 12, and we see the metamorphosis that takes place, you know, starting with very young girls and graduating young women, and the evolution they go through is pretty significant, where they gain so much confidence.
Certainly the first year is where we really see the biggest change in the athletes, from self-esteem, physical fitness, achievement, confidence, and when it's all said and done, they can't imagine what the Branksome experience would have been like without having rowing. One athlete in particular started to row in 10th grade. Most athletes are able to, well, all athletes are able to start in 9th grade at 14 years old. And upon graduation, the athlete and the parent came to me with tears in their eyes. I said, well, why so sad? Well, we're happy with the result and we're happy that we rowed, but we're sad that we didn't start in 9th grade because we missed a year.
Girls that come into the program in grade 9 that are maybe unsure of themselves, maybe they're not even sure if they're like not too happy at being at Branksome, or they haven't latched into a good social crowd, and they come into the rowing program and maybe they become really good friends with the people they row with, maybe they don't, but they have somewhere that it's almost like you belong automatically when you're part of the rowing crew.
I think it's really nice to have something that you are so passionate about, because I really think there's nothing really else at Branksome that you can have the whole year that really is just such a big part of your life.
And you become friends with so many of the people. Like, we're so close with all of the rowers. So.
Coming into the rowing program, you will find a group of 30 plus girls who will have a common goal with you, and just a great group of girls who you can develop amazing friendships with.
I think rowing at Branksome Hall is a great place to meet new people. They get to connect with athletes from grade 9 to grade 12. They might even row as a grade 9 athlete with a grade 12 athlete. They'll become good friends for sure. You develop a huge social network instantaneously, and particularly after Tennessee, where the fun really starts. The girls have a great time, and they can walk down the hall and say, hi, I'm part of something. I'm part of something much bigger than what I had anticipated getting involved with.
The old adage, you get out what you put in. But with this program, with all the different support factors, in reality, at some point in your first year of coaching or your first year as an athlete, you find out that you're actually getting out more than what you're putting in, which is, I think, the magnetism of the sport and the reason why people are so passionate.
And one of the best ways to achieve success is to think that success isn't actually that hard to achieve. And the more you see a peer, someone right beside you, someone that you can associate with, the more you see that person achieve success, you think, well, that's not so tough. If she did it, I can do it.
In a 4-year span, we had 17 novice athletes, having never rowed, and some never really having any competitive experience in an elite sport, become national champions at Branksome with no prior experience. To me, that's an amazing thing, amazing testament to the athletes who have never done it before, and the organization of a program that permits them to become so good, so quickly, with such support. It's really something to see.